This is part 2 of Mom Moments with Sherie. So if you haven't watched or listened to part 1, I encourage you to do so. And I hope you enjoy. You are also, like I said, in the mental health field and all of that. How's that going for you? What has been your journey? What do you want for the future? What are you thinking?
So for several years, as you know, I've kind of I worked in recovery. And
You're being a therapist. When you say recovery, what do you mean? Recovery from
substances. So I was like a therapist for people who were recovering alcoholics or trying to get sober. And amongst all the drugs, you name them all. I've seen everybody on everything. And I did in-home. So I did that for so long, even like through COVID. And it got to the point where I was done. I was burnt out. Because, as a therapist, you do have to fill your own cup, which is what I was doing. But then, as we all know, when COVID hit, life was overwhelming. No matter what job you did, no matter where you worked, life was very overwhelming.
I was very lucky during that time because by then I was doing all my work virtually.
Yeah.
And so because my whole career started with all in-home. I think I worked for 3 or 4 different in-home therapy programs. So that's all I knew at the beginning of my career. And until I went to private practice. So the thought of having to do in-home work during COVID, that's a whole other level, because just in-home work alone is very taxing. I would say it's not a job, it's a lifestyle.
It is. Yep.
It can be overwhelming.
Yep. And I'm a germaphobe. So I was the person, when I came home, I stripped at the door, walked in my house butt naked, threw everything in the wash.
Yeah.
So it was really, really hard for me to continue to navigate being in people's homes. And I drug test people, right? And all the roles I've done in recovery, even though I worked at a couple of different agencies, I still drug tested people. So I have to be up in your personal space to drug test you. Breathalyzer, all that.
Yeah.
So I got to the point where I was just kind of burnt out. I didn't want to do it anymore. And then I kind of had a career switch, and now I'm in the world of research. But I'm still a therapist, depending on the studies that I'm on. But now that I made the switch and I've been doing research for the last 4 years now, I've been in that area. I just wrapped up a traumatic brain injury study where I was a clinician on that study. And through doing that, I realized I really don't want to be clinical in that aspect anymore. I do enjoy research more than I thought I would. And I kind of want to be more on the administrative back end side. So that's kind of my goal now.
Okay.
So I just started on a new project in research, and it's a national study where I am the coordinator for the Connecticut site, but it's also, since it's national, it's the San Francisco site, the Birmingham site. So multiple sites. I think there's 6 sites altogether for this study. And it's a pain management study. And for this, I am the Connecticut coordinator. So this is a big role for me. And the study just kind of got kicked off. And out of all the sites, I'm the only one that has got people enrolled. So yay. What annoyed me, though, when I got people enrolled is the overall coordinator who's overseeing all of us at the little sites called me an overachiever. So that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because I'm I should have done my job. Sorry, y'all.
Sorry, y'all don't have people. How are you overachieving when you're doing the thing you're supposed to do?
Right. Because of the government shutdown, there was a pause on everything. But I was ready to go. I knew what I needed to do. And as soon as the government opened up,
right,
you took off running.
Nice.
And other people, I guess, are still tippy-toe into it. So I don't know. But I like being the coordinator. I still do assessments because I like doing assessments. Don't get me wrong. I just don't want to do the clinical care, multiple times a week and following you for X amount of time. So my role as a coordinator, I'm in charge of the recruitment, right? I'm in charge of overseeing the person who is actually doing the clinical treatment, seeing how they are they managing the sessions with the person? Are they having issues? If there is an adverse event with a person, they report it to me. I report it to the higher up. Things like that. So I like that. I like that. Nice. I like recruiting. I like doing just the screening assessments to see if you qualify for this study, and the baseline assessments. And then since it's a national study, after I recruit for the Connecticut site, I have to be blinded for the follow-up assessments. So I will be doing the follow-up assessments for, I think, another state, which is which is I like because it's
Nice.
just I do like doing assessments. I really do.
Yeah.
And it's not long-term clinical care. So that's kind of where I'm at now as a licensed professional counselor. I just kind of want to stay on like the administrative side. Obviously, like not private practice. So if they need me to go clinical, it's my job. I do like my job. I'm going to do it. But I
Right.
don't want to be on the clinical side of a study if I don't have to be. And I have communicated that to like the people above me who assign me to the study. So they're aware of that. But with research, it's kind of, you get in where you fit in, right? They
Right.
put you where they need you. And I understand that part of it.
Right. But yeah, no, it's definitely an evolution though in your career of like coming to the conclusion that where you are now is you want to do more administrative.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it was early on realizing I wanted to go into private practice. There's just different, paths that you can take.
Yeah,
So
it is. And that's why like I will. And I tell people because I've had coworkers who ask me like, "Oh, is it worth getting like my LPC or my certification, whatever it is, to
right.
have the option to do private practice?" And I tell them, yes, like I love the fact that I could do private practice if I needed to. I've even had talked to you one time, and I was thinking about doing it, especially like back when things were a little rough when I was in the world of recovery. I was like, well, maybe I'll just do a couple, things on the side, just make a little extra cash. So I like having that option to fall back on. Like if all
Yeah.
else fails and I do end up where I do need money,
Yeah.
I can still go into private practice at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think, like you said, like getting your license, your certification gives you options, gives you flexibility. I also like to think of like, thinking later on in life, it could be like a semi retirement type of thing,
Yeah,
like to
right.
just do some sessions from your house, like when you're not wanting to be out and about in the world as much, maybe, and stuff like that. So
Yes.
it's good options for sure. By the way, I need more wine. Also,
Yeah.
let's take this moment here. Josh, he picked up the Riesling for the day, and he was like, "I think you appreciate this one." We do. Thank you, Happy Black Girl
Great
Magic
job. Yes.
Riesling. You mentioned like being a mental health professional, we need to pour into ourselves. So that self care
Yeah.
thing. What are things that are self care for you that either bring you some sense of
Hmm.
peace, joy, excitement, stuff like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, so that's something I really had to dive into as an empty nester, right? Is really
Mm-hmm.
finding my self-care. I love baths
Mm.
and I've been taking so many baths.
Back.
And like I literally will get my wine or I don't know if you heard of Blake Lively has a brand of like sparkling bourbon and sparkling
No.
tequilas.
Oh wait, yeah, I think you did mention this to
Yeah.
me. I
So
still need to
those
get those. Wait,
yeah.
I'm writing it down because you told me about this already, and
And
I
it's
need
called
to.
Betty Booze and not to
Betty
promote her, but I
Boo.
love it. For me, I like it. So I love the sparkling bourbon and the sparkling tequila.
Because it's the bourbon for me.
Yeah, and it's like different flavors. So I will have one of those, or I'll have like my glass of wine,
Mm-hmm.
and I will pour me a tub, and I will be in the tub until the water turns cold. Like, so like I love a bath. And if I have a skylight in my bathroom, which I love too because I
Nice.
don't have to turn the lights on. I can light a
Right.
candle and like this if the moon is right above me, like the it will shine into my skylight and
Nice.
oh my goodness, so I just love that. So that's
Have you seen those like little things? I've seen them on Amazon where you can put it across your tub so that you can
yeah.
have what your book, your wine, your phone, whatever.
I need
Like
one of those. Yes, I've seen them. I need to invest in one.
yes, because you're an expert bather, like you're an
Yes,
expert bath.
I am. I am like a pro when it comes to being in the tub
So
and
you
soaking.
need the proper equipment.
Yes, I definitely. So
Yeah.
that has been a self-care. And then believe it or not, like doing some home projects as a homeowner, obviously you're always trying to find things that are cheaper to do versus paying someone to do. So taking on like I just literally 2 weeks ago, I just replaced my toilet in the bathroom upstairs.
Dang. Still place the toilet. But no, you're right. I've seen some of your home projects. Like, first of all, let's go to that. Like you bought, your own condo. Like, well, how many years ago now?
Been like 5 years
My
now.
goodness.
Yeah, 5, 6 years, something like that. Because it was
Yeah.
right in COVID when I closed when everything was shutting down, right before the shutdown.
Yeah. And so like to that point too that you're
Yeah.
making earlier that like you have worked hard to provide a life for you and your daughter and then you managed to buy a home. And then yeah, when I went over, I remember you done all sorts of home projects like, to update the place and all that sort of stuff.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, so
Yes, so I installed the ceiling in the bathroom downstairs. So I,
Installed.
I installed the ceiling. So I had someone put the sheetrock up for me, but all the ceiling of the corners and everything, I did all that myself. But yeah, so I've learned that I like home projects. No, I don't like gardening though. My front of
Okay.
my place looks like a graveyard. I have an old neighbor who's really nice, so he has planted some things for me when it's time to do that. He put a little bird
That's
feeder out there for me as
funny.
well. So I won't garden. That's something I just can't get into. But
Choose your project.
yeah,
Choose your
inside the
project.
home, I like doing the little home projects. So I also just created I know you haven't been to my house in a while. I don't think I had it. I know I don't think I had it when you came up last time. I have a bench. So my aunt passed away a couple years ago, and I took from her house like this bench. I painted the bench and I made cushions because I also sew. So I made cushions to go on this bench and I made pillows. So now it sits in my living room and it's a little sitting bench in my living room.
Nice.
So that's like a recent project that I just completed as well.
Yeah, no, I haven't been over since you did that. I'm due for a visit. Oh, that's
Yes.
really nice. That's special. So yeah, so you're just doing your home projects,
Some project.
your baths. What about travel? Do you consider travel self-care for you?
I do consider travel self-care. So looking forward to my trips with you in 2026.
Woo.
So
Mhm,
that's gonna be
mhm,
self-care.
mhm. Which are going to be Vegas in March for my bachelorette and Riviera Maya, Mexico in April for me and Josh's wedding. So I'm
Yeah.
excited.
I feel like I go to Mexico every year. Like
And so here's the thing, I've never been. I've never been to Mexico, which is I feel like wild to say.
that is
I
crazy
know
to
I live in the
say.
US of A and I do like to travel, but I have never stepped foot in Mexico.
Someone's like, because I said to someone literally the other day, I was like, they were like, "Oh, where you going in 2026?" I was like, "Well, I'm going to Vegas." I said, "I'm going to Mexico." They were like, "Again?" I was like, "Yeah."
There are multiple parts of Mexico, okay? So
Right.
first of
And
all,
every time I've been to Mexico, I've stayed in a different place.
different
So
place.
which is
Okay,
good.
so there
So
you go.
there we have it. Like, so last year I was in Mexico for a cousin's trip, which was
Mhm.
great. And we stayed at a Secrets, adult only.
Mhm.
Recommend it if you don't want to
Mhm.
be around
Mhm.
kids.
I know. Listen, we're doing our wedding at a all inclusive family because we are bringing our children, so we needed a place where children were allowed. But yes, because when we went to DR, what was it earlier this year, and stayed at Excellence,
Yeah.
it was an immediate upgrade. I was like, oh,
Yes.
we got to do this adults only more
Yes,
often.
adults only. And if
Ugh.
it's a room with a swim out, book it. Book it because I booked that room with the swim out.
With the same, I can't go back. That's
Yes,
the
I was like,
problem.
I can't. This
Now
is
I'm
like,
looking, yes, I'm looking for a honeymoon to Bali and like every resort. I'm like, I want lagoon access. I want pool access. I want a private pool. I want to.
right.
It's yes.
Yes.
The
Game changer.
the swim out elevates the experience immediately.
It does.
Immediately.
Yeah. So yeah, so travel is definitely self-care. Obviously like pull and fitness is self-care. What else do I like to do that's self-care? And just kind of like I'm not a beach person, but in the summertime I do like to drive the beach. I won't get in the water at the beach.
Mm.
But I do like to kind of like when I need to clear my head, drive at the beach and like sit at the beach, play some music and kind of just stare off into like, the beach and the
Yeah,
beautiful landscape. I do like that. So I do consider like quiet time or peaceful time like that as well as a
yeah,
nice self-care.
for sure.
Um
Yeah, those are all good things. Going back to the travel piece, so like yeah, you have Vegas and Mexico in 2026. Do you have any other plans in 2026 for travel? And where are places you want to go? Like I have like in my head like this long list of places I
yes,
want to like visit over my lifetime. But what about
right.
you?
Yeah, so I definitely want to. So first let me go. I don't have any other trips planned yet. Um so just because I gotta get through my trips with you, girl.
Mhm. Sorry,
Which is fair. And then
sorry, not sorry.
yeah. And then also I didn't jump ahead too far ahead because of just financially with the government shutdown, like I was affected by that. So I had to
Yeah.
kind of really like pause on what the future was looking like for a moment. Um
To input there, yes, because you in your work in your research work, you do work um for the federal government.
yes, I'm a government employee, yes. So I was affected by the shutdown and all the stuff that has been happening with the government, unfortunately. But yes, but one thing I will say that did come out of that government shutdown for me is that it did help me tighten up my budget.
Mhm.
All those little knickknacks, I like the little splurge on here and there. It did help me tighten up my budget, and I realized that. So
A loss may sometimes be a gain. So it made you like kind of adjust some of your behavior around
yes, around my
finances.
spending, which is a good thing. Which I'm continuing to do.
Good.
So that's a good thing. But yeah, so because of that, I didn't plan any future trips. But initially I was thinking of my daughter does turn 21 in June. So I was thinking of a trip with her for her 21st birthday. She's now actually come with me to your wedding, which we just finalized yesterday.
Mhm.
So now I might not do a trip with her now because she's coming to the
Coming from
wedding.
Mexico.
But if she wasn't, I was initially thinking of doing a 21st birthday trip with her. And I may still do that. It may
Mhm.
not be like a lavish trip out the country. It could be
Right.
someplace in the US. Like, like for instance, she's never been to San Diego. She wants to go. She's already in California for school
Yeah.
in Palo Alto. So I may look into maybe us doing a trip to San Diego just so we
Right.
can explore the things that she's interested in seeing there.
Right.
So something.
Just to like toot horns and just brag a little bit. You might have put together. She said Ivy League in Palo Alto, so you might be able to guess what school she's at. I'm just saying. Anyway, I'm sorry. Am I going too much?
Thank you.
Full
No, no.
ride. Yeah.
Yeah, yep. All right, my little genius.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah,
Um, Black girl mansion.
we love it. Black excellence all
But
across the board.
okay, so yeah, so maybe San Diego. I went to San Diego 2 years ago. Me, Josh, and my two boys, and that was yeah, that was fun. That was a good time. I think that'll be a
Yeah,
nice that could be a nice little like in between type of trip.
yeah.
Um, yeah. What are other places that you would consider taking her for her
Mhm.
21st? Whether in the U.S. or out of the
Yeah.
U.S.
So, she wants New Zealand is definitely a top on both of our lists. So we both want to go to New Zealand, me and her. But my number one travel spot and her number one travel spot is Japan. And this, I've said this for years. I actually lost out on an opportunity to go to Japan in June. But it's okay because it was my daughter's birthday, so I could
Mm-hmm,
not.
mm-hmm.
So I have my uncle's wife was taking her son to Japan in June for his birthday, and literally I was waiting for the dates to see if I can make it work, and then I booked flights already and booked hotel to go out to Cali for my daughter's birthday to spend the week with her. That same day I booked up my flights, she emailed me the dates of Japan, and unfortunately they collided.
Right.
So I was like, "Oh, it's not going to happen."
Mm,
Um, so it's okay though. But Japan is definitely like a graduation goal for like when my daughter graduates from college. So one
yeah.
more year.
Yeah.
We and her both talked about just taking off and doing that trip to Japan.
That'll be
So
nice.
that's kind of what I'm planning in the works for like my number one spot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a family trip that we wanna do. Our 2 oldest boys are really into wanting
yeah.
to go, so
I
we're a few
love
years out from that, but yeah.
I love the history of Japan. The history is so dark, but I've watched like documentaries on like the emperors and the
Yeah,
rise and fall of the different empires and the samurai. Like I've always liked I'm not a heavy anime fan as an adult, but as a kid, I loved Sailor Moon and a lot of other animes. My daughter is still heavy into anime. So all of that stuff, like it's
mhm,
us. It speaks to us. And I've
yeah,
always loved Japan because of that. So definitely want to do like Kyoto and stuff for all that history.
mhm,
Even like the geishas, right? Like I think like the history of the geishas
yeah,
is still so fascinating and how like they still have geishas. It's not as prominent as it was way back then, but they
right.
still have geishas and I would love to go kind of like to a geisha house and things like that. So Japan is my number one.
Yeah, I had speaking of, when you mentioned, Kyoto, when I was graduating from Boston University undergrad, I seriously considered going to Japan to teach English. So I had started doing all this research on the different areas that I might go, and I didn't end up doing it, but like that was like
Yeah,
when I first really delved into the idea of going there. And I say that like everywhere is on my to travel list for me. Like I just love going to new places, experiencing new
right.
cultures and all of that. So in theory, I want to go everywhere in the world. Obviously, I need to like prioritize where and
Right.
when. So, but Japan is way up there, and I think it's going to be one of our family trips in a few years because our two oldest boys in particular are really interested in going.
Yes.
Mexico next year for our wedding will be it'll be the first international family trip. Tristan has gone with me to Jamaica, but other than that, none of the other boys I think have gone. Um, maybe one of maybe Josh's older son, my stepson, has gone like on a cruise, but for the most
Okay.
part, we haven't done international. So
Okay.
we're all going to go to Mexico next year, and then in 2027, I think I want to take us all to Portugal. I
Oh,
have a
okay.
friend, Kim. She was on the first Mom Moments, who with her partner and kids, and they had a good time. And so it was like really kid friendly. So I think that's going to be like one of our next
Yeah.
international trips.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
but yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and then so I told Josh, I was like, I have this list of places we want to go before I'm 50, because they're more physical. Like I want to go to
Yeah.
Machu Picchu, like and climb Machu
Okay.
Picchu.
Yeah. Speaking of that, so my daughter spent last summer, in Peru as her internship,
Hmm.
and she wanted, and so that's on our list to go back. That's like probably number 3 on our list to go back because she wants to go to Machu
Machu Picchu,
Picchu.
yes.
So I've never been to Peru. Where she was at was very, very, very rural, right? She was out there. And I don't think I could have survived where she was at in Peru. But like I need a little bit of luxury when I go on vacation. I'm not for the wildlife.
I mean, in case we missed the previous part of not an animal person, so got it.
But yeah, so yes. So Peru is definitely there.
Mhm.
And then also anywhere where my daughter speaks Spanish, so wherever she can utilize her Spanish and be also like a person to help kind of
That's Josh.
she should know for
Mhm.
me. It's
Ja-
great.
Josh is our translator. He also speaks Spanish. I'm like, okay, so good. Got you. Put you in my back pocket. I get off that Duolingo because that app be laughing at me every time I try to.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna learn Italian, then I'm gonna learn French, and
Right.
I'm like, girl,
Yeah.
like I was like, bonjour.
Right. But I really want to do all of Southeast Asia, honestly, like all of it.
Mhm.
So Vietnam, all of that, like all of Southeast Asia, if I can explore it. Like
Yeah.
literally, if I could afford to take a whole month off just to do all of it, I could. Maybe one day I could make that
Yeah,
happen.
I mean,
I don't know.
manifest it. That is truly one of my goals. I want to do that, to go to different parts of Africa, because I'm like, if I'm going to go over there and go to the different
Mm,
countries, I'm like a good solid month. I need a good
yeah.
solid month to just go to different countries in Africa and
Yes.
yeah, and explore.
I
So
agree. Yeah. I mean, Africa, I haven't honestly put too much thought into traveling to Africa, but I would definitely travel to Africa. So I where exactly, I'm not sure.
right.
Because I would have to like just kind of look into it a little bit
Yeah,
more to see
research.
what interests me. But Africa I would
There's
definitely
someone
go.
who I'm going to send you who you should follow, Demetria L. Lucas. She actually has a podcast called Ratchet and Respectable, but she she's from like Maryland. What's it? Prince, is it Prince George? Prince
Prince George
George?
County?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she spends like a good amount of her time living in different parts of Africa. And now she does these see some world trips where
Okay.
it's like a group. She's over there right now with a group of women. They did a Thanksgiving trip. She does Ghana, South Africa, and I think they're going to be doing Morocco. Anyway, I'm going to send you her information. She's
Yes.
one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite podcasts, and she like gives like a great idea, like perspective
Okay.
of visiting Africa and for her living in Africa. But for me, part of it is I want to do like a DNA test type thing,
Okay.
find out different parts that, where like my ancestors are from, and like
Yeah.
go to those countries, like research and like go to
Right.
those countries.
Yeah.
I definitely want to do some safari stuff. Again, I know you're not too much with the animals, so
Right.
that maybe not be.
I mean,
But one of the reasons why I want to go, you're like, if I'm in
right.
a jeep and
And then they can't touch me.
so
Put me in a cage and
yeah, so
take
there's
me
just
through the safari.
next up, you're gonna see me and Sherie on safari, and we're gonna see how that goes.
That could you imagine? I'd be freaking out in the background. Oh my goodness.
I'm like, we're here. Meanwhile, I'm like, come on, no, you can pet the lion. Pet the
I'd
lion.
be like, oh no, no, girl.
I know. I'm wild. Like I want to go swim with whales and Tonga. I want to like there's a lot for me. But that's why I have this like things to do before I'm fit, like places to visit before I'm 50,
Yeah.
where I'm like, I want to be at like my physical peak and I'm like climbing up mountains, or at least quarter of the way up mountains. Let's be for real.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I've always had a desire as since I was a kid to just like see different parts of the world. So it was really exciting for me to go with my sister this past summer to Paris and London,
Yeah.
because those have been long time places for me. Um, and so yeah, so
Nice. Yeah. I want to do Iceland as well. I do
mhm.
love a good scenery. I want to see like
That's why I'm do Ireland.
yeah, in
Christmas
Ireland as
scenery.
well to see like the castles and things like that. Like I said,
Yes.
I do like history, like right. I do watch like a lot of those old movies that take place in like the
No,
1800s and shit like
a
that.
good place for history is Rome in
Yeah,
Italy. That was one of my absolute favorite because you're just walking through the city and there's all of these ancient ruins.
yeah,
Just it's like walking through New York City and then seeing ancient ruins would be like wild, but that's literally what Rome is like, and it's beautiful, and the food is great. There's definitely I want to like buy a villa and actually be able to like live in
right.
Italy for
Yeah,
part of the year. So
yeah,
that's a future goal
yeah.
that yeah.
My daughter's cousin spent a semester in Spain this past school year, and the stuff she posted was so beautiful. And then when
Yeah.
she came home, we were talking to her. She was just like, "You have to visit Spain. You have to go there." So I think Spain would definitely be on the
Be
list.
up there too.
Yeah.
Okay. And then to like finish out, well, after this, I want to ask about like like a mom hack that you have or anything like that. But in the travel scene, domestically, any places that you are looking forward to either returning to or visiting, just like in the US?
hmm I definitely want to go back to Thailand, because I did Phuket and
Oh, wait. So internet. Okay, you're saying internationally now. Okay,
internationally.
sorry, I was saying domestically, but
Oh,
yes, but no,
domestic.
I want to
Sorry.
hear internationally though because Thailand is is high up on my
Okay.
list too. So you do want to go back to
I do want to go
Thailand.
back to Thailand because I only did Phuket and then I did the PP Islands. So I want to do other parts of Thailand, you know. So I definitely want to go back to Thailand. Within the US, Vegas will be my first time. So I've never been to Vegas.
So wait, it was my first time until just last year, the end of last year. Until now, when we go in March, it'll be my second time. So I'm a pro. I'll show you a little something, something.
So Vegas has always been like someplace I wanted to go, just kind of for I know people say it's overrated, but I don't care. Like I want to go to Vegas. Like
Yeah,
I've
I
never
feel like
been.
it's
I
one of
want
those
to
places you
experience.
check off your
Yeah, you
list.
check off the list. And then like even though I'm not a nature person, I do want to see like some of the national parks. So within like the US, like that's like
Yeah,
a goal just to see I just want to see them because we do have some great
they're
places to visit in
beautiful.
the US and
Beautiful.
they're beautiful.
I want to do Grand
Um,
Canyon. I want to do the Redwood Forest, the
yes,
huge trees. So
yes,
that is our family trip for 2028 that I'm planning. Yep.
yes.
Yep.
So yeah, so that's really it for the US. I can't really think of anything else.
I want to go back to New Orleans. I went like over 10 years ago and I fell in love with the city immediately. It was like a couple years after
Yeah,
Katrina. I was doing a spring break trip from college like to help with Hurricane Katrina like
yeah,
rebuilding with Habitat for Humanity. And I just love like I want to go the food, the music,
yeah,
the art, the culture. So New Orleans is like one of my like oh I love this place.
yeah.
Um I want to do because I love bourbon. So I want to do a Kentucky to Tennessee like
Oh, that's a good idea, actually.
bourbon
I like bourbon too. I
trip.
love bourbon. It's my go-to drink. I never thought about that. Yeah.
So
I'd be
I
down for that. Like,
okay, we
let's
need to
plan that
talk.
together. Yeah.
I started some research. I literally was like, okay, if
Okay.
I fly into one, can we then like drive to the other and then fly? Like
Yeah.
I have been mapping it out. I want to do a whole little bourbon tour between Kentucky and
Yeah,
Tennessee
we'll do
because
that. I guess I'm
I'm
down with
very
that.
okay. That's a
Yeah.
future trip.
Yeah, it's a future trip. Yes.
So that's like some of the domestic stuff I want to do. Like Vermont was beautiful in the fall. That's a place to go. So I want to keep going up. I never made it up to Maine or any
Yeah.
further. So I do want to go up to like Maine. So yeah, those are some of the domestic things that I
Yeah.
want to do. But definitely the national parks is one. I saw the Badlands of South Dakota years ago, and that was
Yeah.
beautiful. So stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. New Orleans is great. I've been twice, so um I don't think I need to go a third time.
I can see well, that's how I felt. So I always said, right, for Vegas, before I even went this last time that in October. Yeah, in October um of this year. I'm saying last year. But I had always said that like I want to go, and I can also imagine that I may not want to go back again after my
Right.
first time. Like
Yeah.
I just need to check it off. But there is a lot to do.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those places where I feel like, and especially because oftentimes Vegas is a place just like we're going to do. People go for just a few nights at a
Right.
time. So it's definitely like a place you can go back multiple times just because you didn't do
Everything right.
everything.
Yes.
But yeah, other than that, it's just like, yeah, it's a playland.
It
But
is, yeah.
I will say, so speaking of places who don't need to go back, I've been to Atlantic City one time and don't ever need to go back again. I'm
Listen,
sorry.
I hate Atlantic City because we would go so much for cheer. It's trash. I'm sorry. And it's what blows my mind with Atlantic City is when you see the ads posted, right? It looks like it's so pretty there, but then I'm like, Atlantic City does not look like this when you get there.
You step out of the square, it's over. And my
Oh,
thing is like there's so many other amazing places to go to casinos, Vegas or
yeah,
anywhere.
anywhere, yeah. But also same thing about like Disney in Orlando. I've been like my kid has been to Disney 20 fucking times, I
That
swear.
pure life.
Cheer life.
Mm-hmm,
I hate
mm-hmm.
Disney.
So I grew up in Orlando, and so I just used to go. Like I'm a very appreciative uh child who got to go for free because I had family and friends who worked there, all of
Yeah.
that. So I got that life. That was like the number one question I was asked when I moved from Orlando. So I was 14 in the middle of freshman year. It's uh I was listening to high school. I know we didn't. We met at like it feels like that's how long we
I
know each
know
other,
it
but we
does.
actually met at like our future job. But nonetheless, when when I moved from Orlando to here in the middle of freshman year of high school, people were like, "Why'd you leave Orlando? Like, what about Disney World?" I'm like, "Well, first of all, because my mother moved here and I'm 14, so like I go where she goes." But like, um, I loved it then, and now it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I don't need to go over and over again, but
Right.
now I want to like bring the kids there as like a
Yeah.
family like thing. But I
Fair.
feel like it's again another one of those things you do and check off your list.
Right.
But there's so many other great things.
Yes, I
So
agree. I agree. And same thing, like I feel like that in New Orleans, right? I went the first time by myself, so I definitely was party city. And then when I went back to New Orleans, I had my daughter with me, so it was a different experience. I didn't party. I took her to Bourbon Street in the daytime. I took her to the museums, but the World War II Museum in New Orleans is phenomenal.
yeah,
So if you're a person like me and my daughter and you like a little bit of history and you ever go there, we were in that museum for probably like 4 hours and we didn't even
wow,
like really finish the whole thing
right.
because we were like at that point like tired and exhausted. But it's amazing.
Another amazing museum, just to add, is the African American Museum in DC. If it's still going to exist, because I
Yes.
know Trump is trying to take it out and
Yeah.
wipe it out. But have you
I have
been?
not been, but
Oh,
I told my daughter actually for next year that's where we need to go. We need to try to get there before,
that is a place to
it
go
disappears.
immediately.
Yeah.
I need to go again to finish, but like an emotional museum
Yeah.
experience in the way they have it set up in the architecture and how there's like a like each level you're going through history is whew, yes.
Yes.
That
Okay.
move that to the top of your list. That is a
Definitely.
very
Yeah. Definitely next year I'm trying to make that happen for sure.
but yeah, what's a mom hack for you? Something that has made parenting easier for you or something you learned along the way, small or big?
Yes. So a big mom hack for me is learning to let my daughter have her moment of saying what she needs to say to me. We grew up in a
Mhm.
generation of you listen and you're
Like
quiet and you don't
kids
talk
are to
back.
be seen and not
Not
heard.
yes. And I had to learn, and it did wonders for our relationship, is to let her express how she's feeling. And if I'm mad in that moment, to not reply to her. Just let
Mm,
her say what she needs to say. And then for me to take space after she said whatever she needs to say to me, and then come talk to her after I'm calm.
mm,
Because we all have those crash out moments as parents where we start losing our shit on our kids and had a lot of those.
yeah. Yeah, because we're human.
We're
Human
human,
first.
and
That's
I
it.
had to learn, okay, she is human, she has feelings, I want her to express herself to me, right? Because I want her to be able to tell me how she feels. And just thinking back as a kid, like I wasn't able to tell my parents how I felt.
Mm,
And that hindered our relationship. And I want my daughter to be able to tell me how she feels without feeling like I'm going to be upset with her or I'm going to judge her or she's going to be in trouble. So
right.
that's my hack. I had to learn to shut up and just let her say what she needs to say, even if I don't
Hmm.
like it and even if
Yeah.
it's making me mad, but for me to not respond until after I processed it.
Yeah, that
Um,
part, the
yeah, the
processing first.
processing. And that was really hard for me. It took me a
Yeah.
while. And there was times where she would do it and I would still like crash out and yell at her. And then she'd be like, but you said, and I'd be like, no, you're right. So then I had to like apologize and be like, I'm sorry for reacting the way I reacted because I told you to do this. I told you to express
Right,
yourself. And
right.
now I'm getting mad at you for doing it. And I
Mhm.
can't do that.
Yeah,
So
and
once I
that's
got that under control, it made a huge difference in our relationship.
yeah, yeah, and one of the things you're bringing up is, like, a therapeutic concept of rupture and repair, right?
Yes.
So, like, I might, like, yell or say something, that I shouldn't. That's the rupture, and then, like, the repair is coming back and acknowledging, "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that, or I shouldn't have said it the way I said it. I apologize," and, like, that's such an important part that I do think generationally hadn't been done as much, like, a parent
Yeah.
acknowledging
Yes.
that they messed up and
Right.
quite frankly, we're just human, and that they regret what they said or did, like that was
Yes.
not quite the way. And now, yeah, that's how we learn that, we know that, like, that's how you properly manage human relationships, is to
Yes.
be able to acknowledge, I'm not always going to be perfect, I'm not always going to say the right thing the right time,
Right.
but I can come back and acknowledge that and try to do
Hmm.
better.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I agree. That repair piece. And I learned that obviously while learning my career and I've been to therapy. So that's another thing. It's important for everyone I think everyone should seek therapy.
agreed.
People frown upon it, but it's just so nice to have someone who really doesn't know you to, they're like it's a blank slate for you to just kind of say what you need to say, and they can give their honest opinion of what they think may help you
Yeah,
because they don't know you
yeah,
to be biased. And I think people don't realize that.
yeah.
So I think everyone should seek therapy.
I agree. The whole everyone seeking therapy, I think of it as like we all go to the doctors for a physical, right? The idea is like, go, and that's for your physical health. So for your mental health, go check in with somebody. Go check in with somebody. So yeah, that's what keeps us on track. Well,
Does.
on that note, thank you so much, Cherie, for joining me for my moments.
Thank you for having
Cheers.
me. This was great.
Absolutely.
And thanks for listening.
See ya.